So first, let's talk about Ariana versus Lala. Okay. So this is according to Us Weekly. It says Lala Kent addresses rumor Ariana Madix eviscerated her at the Vanderpump Rules reunion. Number one, can we stop recycling words? We already used the word eviscerated for Erica Jane and Kyle Richards for the Beverly Hills reunion. Let's find new words, people. Anyway, Lala Kent teased where her relationship with Ariana Madix stands after filming the Vanderpump Rules season 11 reunion. I think the exact fan tweet was Ariana eviscerated Lala at the reunion and it was friendship ruining. And only one of those things is true, Lala said during the Wednesday, March 20th episode of The Talk. I'll let you all decide. As the cast got together on Saturday, March 16th to film the Bravo reunion, rumors swirled about certain cast members being on the outs after season 11. Lala and Sheena Shea in particular have been called out for filming with Tom Sandoval after his cheating scandal with Raquel Leviss. I stand by everything I said last season, even last season's reunion, and I stand by everything I said this season, Lala continued on Wednesday. I'm in a different place than I was last year. Sandoval ran very parallel with where I was in my heartbreak after my split from Randall, so I was out for blood. She added, now before we started filming this season, I knew I was going on this journey to potentially bring another child into the world. And I just knew I need to be soft. I need to try to practice compassion. I appreciated that when people did it for me. I would appreciate it if someone did that for my daughter, if and when she messes up tremendously. Before season 10 premiered last year, Lala and Randall 52, who share Ocean Now 3, called it quits. Vanderpump Rules season 10 picked up with Lala facing life as a single mother. Well, as a co-parenting mother. Because you guys know how I feel about throwing around that single mother term. she's a co-parenting mother. Let's call a thing, which led to her journey with IUI. She announced earlier this month that she's expecting her second child via a sperm donor. Bravo viewers were in for a surprise in March 23 when news broke about Sandoval's split from Ariana. We all know about that. Okay. So basically, the beef between Ariana and Lala is this, that Lala basically feels that Ariana has gotten too big for her britches, that she's very self-absorbed. She's all about herself. Lala's confused. You're saying that Sheena can't hang out with Sandoval. You're saying I can't hang out with Sandoval, but yet you live with him. It seems to be a little bit of hypocritical for you to say that we can't be friends with him and hang out with him, but yet you still reside in the same home with him. And then, Lala would bring it back a lot to like her situation with Randall and all of that stuff. And then she also felt that Ariana was being a little bit not a good friend to Sheena when Sheena was being like 10 toes down for her, but she wasn't really reciprocating that same type of loyalty, like not telling Sheena that she got Dancing with the Stars and like other opportunities that came up that she knew would be either important to Sheena or things that you would just normally share with your friends. And that Ariana kind of got a big head about everything and felt holier than thou. Now, this is where I land on this situation. I don't think that Lala is jealous of Ariana, because we're getting a lot of that. Oh, they're jealous. I don't think that. I think that what happened was both Lala and Ariana were in very similar yet not similar situations. And I think Lala was raising awareness to how what happened in her situation versus what happened in Ariana's situation. Being number one, both Lala and Ariana were at some point the other women to greater or lesser extents. We're going to call a spade a spade. Ariana was cheating with Tom when he was with Kristen, and Lala was cheating with Randall when he was with his wife. They both were the other women. They both got cheated on in very big ways. Randall was cheating on Lala and maybe doing some other nefarious, gross things that he has allegations and lawsuits and all of that going on. I'm not going to touch on that stuff because it's really dark and people like to sue people for having opinions, but just Google it, LA Times article, Hulu documentaries on the evil and the alleged evil and darkness of Randall Emmett, which in my personal opinion does supersede what Tom Sandoval did. Also, Lala's kind of like, and I also have a child. Like I have a full human being with this person, and I'm also trying to figure out how to take care of my child and navigate that while breaking up with this person who has cheated on me, who has done all these horrible things to me. But Ariana gets to stay in the house and they don't have children. And yes, he cheated, but like a lot of people get cheated on. And like we get that, you know, we're not saying that your pain isn't meaningful, but you're not the first person in the history of the world to have a cheating boyfriend. When quiet as is kept, you had no problem being just as dismissive and narcissistic and rude to a lot of people, just like he did. To be honest with you, Ariana and Tom Sandoval are very, very similar. They have very, very similar personalities. They're condescending as hell. They're dismissive as hell. They think they're the smartest, coolest person in the room. And they're not very nice. And that's my personal opinion. I personally don't like Ariana as a person. Not personally, because I don't personally know her, but I don't like her. I don't like how she presents herself. She is mean. She is. You go back and watch how she's treated all these people on the show. She's not a very nice person. Doesn't mean I don't have compassion for her. And it doesn't mean I don't think that what happened to her was wrong. But she's not that nice of a person. And so I get where Lala is coming from, where she's just like, listen, I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But I had something really horrible happen to me. And the entire world didn't bend at my knee because this happened. And I had to take care of me and my child. Now, where I disagree with Lala is where she comes at Ariana about living in the house. You know, Lala had to get her child out of that home, I think, for like protection and all this other stuff going on. That I totally get. You know, whatever situation she was in, she had to physically remove herself and her child for safety or for whatever. Okay, I get that. That stinks. But I don't agree with she should hold it against Ariana that Ariana didn't have to leave the house. Because if I'm Ariana, I'm not leaving the house either until it is financially responsible and financially sound for me to either leave the house, keep the house and get bought out, or get bought out and leave the house. I'm not leaving the house either because my name is on it and I have a right to it. So on that stance, I understand where Ariana's coming from. She's like, I put my money into this. My name is on this. I'm not leaving until it is the financially responsible thing for me to do. So on that stance, I totally understand where Ariana's coming from. My issue with Ariana, and I'll repeat this when I get to the other ladies, do a deeper dive on that, is that she, in my opinion, hasn't really copped to how she has treated the other women in the past. She's been mean to Lala. She's been dismissive to her. She's been just as bad as Tom has. And you can't just say, well, Tom didn't like you, so I didn't like you. It's really his fault. No, you're an adult. You're a grown woman. You didn't like Lala because you didn't like her, and you're mean about her situation just like Tom was because that's how you felt and that's what you chose to say. So own your stuff and say, yeah, you know what? I did, say X, Y, and Z about you and co-sign stuff and be dismissive towards you. But now I'm expecting you to have this sort of blind loyalty to me when I never even really rocked with you like that. So I get why Lala's like, look, yeah, something bad happened to you. Something really shitty happened to me too. But the world did not fall at my feet because I wasn't, quote, the perfect victim. And we've talked about this in the past where it's in our society, there's this sort of unattainable, idolized version of what a victim is. And if you are a woman who is attractive or is strong or is opinionated, or if people think that you think you're better than me, or you have money, or you're dating a man with money, somehow if something bad happens to you, you deserve it. But if you're a different type of woman, more submissive to the man, like Ariana was with Tom, long suffering and all this other bull crap. Then all of a sudden, when the same thing happens to you, you're a martyr and everybody identifies with you and you get the revenge body and you get all this other stuff. When at the end of the day, these are two women who are imperfect, because we're all imperfect, who were treated very, very horribly by two men. But yet one gets called a mistress and everything else, and another one gets exalted to this untouchable status. Because in our society, we still have this myth of what a victim looks like and is supposed to be. And a lot of women who own their power and own their voice get punished for that. Because I bet you if Tom Sandoval had the money and the clout and the influence that Randall had or pretended to have or whatever it was, and then this happened to Ariana, I bet you the general response would be very, very, very different. Oh, she's nothing but a gold digger. She deserved it. Blah, 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 blah. What did you expect would happen to you? And that's a bigger conversation, but I think that's what they're getting to. It even happened with Stassi. Stassi, imperfect person, but when Jax was sleeping with Kristen, her best friend, a lot of people were like, well, you deserve it because you're mean, Stassi. You think you're better than everybody, Stassi. You're this, that, and the third, Stassi, blah, 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 blah. And Stassi had never even cheated on Jax, right? So again, it's like, unless you are sort of this long-suffering woman, if something bad happens to you when it comes to affairs or men, somehow the world thinks you deserved what you got. And I think that's more of where Lala is coming from with this whole situation, you know? And I do think that, you know, Ariana stands on like, you can't talk to him if you don't want to talk to me and blah, 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 blah. It's a bit much. It's a bit much. It's a lot. So I want to know what you guys think when it comes to Lala versus Ariana. Not necessarily whose side are you on, this team or that team. I know I said that because it's being fun for what we're doing. But do you see both sides, or whose sides do you see more, or what do you think is really going on between these two women? So put it down below and be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So with that, let's move on to Ariana versus